What? Uh-huh. Well, what do they say? Huh. Said something. I'm gonna figure out what it was. I'm waiting just for a second. Chill zone. Greetings. Got my Arcona shirt on. I saw them here last year, and the lead singer, Masha Scream, remember, she's amazing as, say, a vocalist, but sometimes one of my pet peeves is that they don't turn the vocal up high enough. And so you can't clearly hear the voice, without screaming or something. Not always. They're good in that they have, loud and softer parts of their songs, depending, But mostly it was just like, rah. But if you look at her early videos, you'll notice she's walking around in a white dress, and that has ancient significance, right? Dressed like a priestess or a vulva, and being, considering where she's from, direct link. So what's that mean? That means that I am related to her, right? Because of certain ancestry, specifically, interrelated Nordic tribes, among others. They're all interrelated, but some are closer than others, right? That's how I look at it. And I really feel there aren't very many singers that I would put on the level of vulva, but she's one of them. And she's very ritualistic when she performs. I remember the skull they had right on the front, the drum, the round drum, that flat drum design is ancient. And that is what I started playing when I was younger. And as I've been thinking about sovereignty and considering that in 5 minutes it will be the 17th. And so, because the sovereignty of our ancient grandmother was not honored, it doesn't mean they take any power. What it does mean is that they do not have the blessing of the primordial sovereign power. And so it is a domination of nature versus cooperation, right? Like, I'll give you an example of horses, all right? A male horse will, if it's a stallion, right? If they want to show dominance, they basically hop on the back side of the other horse with a full erection and shove it against the horse. So if you think about that in context of like sexual harassment or just harassment in general, I know it's crude, but it's a really good example. And I saw that shit in real life, so I was like, whoa. And I'm wearing a metal shirt, so who cares? I'm just not concerned about it, right? It's like walking around on eggshells versus being thoughtful about what you say before you say it, you know what I mean? And so if I have a certain communication style, I will avoid that, but still get my point across. Like, I could effectively have an argument and not curse the entire argument, right? If I'm centered. But let's say I let anger take over, then it's over. But battle rage was like the flame of protective love. Like you're fighting for something more than just personal gain. And that is why in ancient times, in my opinion, those warriors would fight harder and more than likely be more potent and more powerful, because they have the force of their entire tribe behind them. And since I feel that the spirit realm is real, then that means that the ancient grandmother and grandfather are with you, and therefore you are sovereign before the tribe, right? But if I act dishonorably, especially to say someone who is of high honor, like let's say you walked up to like an old vulva, right? She'd been around a long time, and you just went up and grabbed her crotch. What do you think the response would be? It wouldn't be nice. First of all, you wouldn't get that close, but I'm just saying that would be equivalent to how I feel about how our ancient and sacred wells were treated, right? Because that's a direct representation of the purity of the land, right? And the sanctity of the sovereignty of the goddess. And I feel that viscerally, right? So the response is that when, say, innocence or a just person, right, is acted upon unjustly, do they not have the right to defend themselves? Whether that is verbal, right? Or someone is trying to do something to your body without your permission, and you've done nothing wrong, right? So you have the right, naturally, natural law, to defend yourself. Look at any form of nature, and you will see that. So this shirt represents, sovereignty in action, to where grandfather has been angered to the level where he is literally radiating fire, and it torches everything in its path that is not him. You see? So in that concept, let's just say theoretically, that kind of power exists. Would it be wise to disrespect the core central root of all primordial existence by acting in such an arrogant manner? No. Now, if that individual had the sanctity and sovereignty and protection of the tribe, and now you have acted against them, and they honor the ancient root, what is the likelihood of aid coming to them? Very high, right? But the arrogant person approaching them treats it as though that does not exist, right? Because they do not conceive that that level of power could exist, where I do. And in fact, I would go so far to say that I know that exists due to how I feel, right? But that's up to me, my perception. Each person has to have their perception of reality, but what happens when it lines up with the actual truth that is? Well, now we're talking unity. And then, guess what? The greater folk souls of the tribe can aid you. But if you are a narcissistic, selfish, like energy vampire, no. They can feed on certain amounts of energy, but they cannot feed on love. Why? Because they are not love. I'm talking on a high spiritual level, not just electromagnetic frequency. Consciousness itself. You can only be what you are, versus presenting the kind hand when you have the slick knife behind your back, metaphorically speaking, or simile, to be similar. And this is something that's been a big deal to me most of my life, because if you think about it, what is a molester doing? They are overriding your free will to act out upon you to receive pleasure only for themselves, right? It has nothing to do with the individual they are victimizing. Zero. And so keeping that in mind, I ask the question, is this love of tribe or fear? Notice tribe was not connected to fear. Why? Because if I am acting rightly, I have no need to fear the wrath of my grandfather or grandmother. They have a wrath, in my opinion, yeah. Right? And the picture on my shirt of, grandfather has an axe and he's on fire, emotionally speaking, as an expression, not a direct threat to anyone. So I have to be careful in how I frame things, right? And I'm doing that very carefully. Now, why? Because being that I was in a mental health facility for just 6 days, 1 week out of my entire life, means I get to be marked as a nutbag for the rest of my life. Isn't that fun? Not really. On the permanent record. Now, add on top of that, having my ritual disrupted by misunderstanding, lack of comprehension, and lack of communication. Now, you're in mainstream society, right? So if you're going to practice ritual in a ritual space, then you have to do that in a private way, right? Exactly, I know this. But it was like a transcendent moment where you realize, I'm going to tear out all that doesn't work and only keep what does. And if that means you have to let it all go and then go back and reclaim, that's what happens. And it's generally how it works. You have to earn your rite of passage. It does not just get handed to you. And until you have been tested to your fullest, you don't have it. And that's a fact. You're yet to earn it. Instead of, rather, the inherited birthright also by the acknowledgement of that higher knowledge and wisdom from grandmother and grandfather. That is key. Just like in the clip I put of Strictly Ballroom, right? He has to prove himself in front of both parents. All right? He claimed to know things he did not know. Huh? Before the old man who was a master of that art form. That is a fool. How many people do this consistently, all the time? And when they get checked, they act arrogant and do not listen. Instead, they place blame on the other person sharing the wisdom and attack them for wisdom. Why? They do not want it exposed that they are unwise and acting unjustly, period, end of statement. So, if we act justly and we simplify and we honor grandmother and grandfather, they come to our aid. It is not complicated. People overcomplicate it. It is that simple. Holding it is not simple because you could be distracted, right? But if you have accepted the condemned betrayal, then no matter what, there will be no love. There is no negotiating with that type of being. They either feed or they don't, right? Because you are food, right? On an energy level, because they have no love. Therefore, if they keep you at a lower frequency using fear and other methods, or keeping you on lower function like sexual energy, just that. Now, if you unite sexual energy and the fertility power with love, then you have family, you have something. Without that, you are rootless and seedless and wasting your energy. And that is my opinion at my current age. So I really don't have time for anything other than that. Anything other than that is foolishness, right? So if you were around somebody acting like that, I'd rather just be by myself. You know what I'm saying? It, like the whole idea of to either travel with the wise or travel alone. Just that simple. That one little line, just that. So either I travel with my grandmother and grandfather, or I am an embarrassment before my tribe and my grandfather and grandmother. No. No. It's like shitting in their living room in front of them, knowing it's disrespectful and then thinking that would be cool. It's not. Right? The sanctity of their household from which your root comes deserves to be honored. For without it, you would not exist. That's why I'm this serious, because I know that. What do you think I'm preparing for? Some war? Nope. I am preparing myself so that I will be honorable in the sight of my grandmother and grandfather and not act like a fool before them. They will teach me nothing that way. I will have to wait, just like you would, until you learn the lesson. Isn't that wisdom talking? Yes. And the same way works with parent and child. You are talking to an ancient being, way older than you, way more experienced than you. You are a creation stemming from that ultimate power, whatever you want to say it is. But I'm saying it's grandmother and grandfather. It's what makes sense to me. That each tribe would have that. You would choose. And you have to choose honor. Right? You don't just get to have it. You must earn it. And then be acknowledged for merit, not automatic. I have worked hard for what I know. I have suffered for what I know. So if a fool came in, let's say, and took that and then did not honor it, that is unwise. They did that before grandmother and grandfather. That was the most unwise, disrespectful thing they could do, right? But if they came in with honor, and they honor grandmother and grandfather, then they receive the full inheritance. What are you putting at stake? Your folk soul inheritance. You mean there's an inheritance? Yes. You must claim it. And you must show that you deserve that honor. By honoring. It seems like common sense, right? How many people miss these base principles? So here we are, coming up on St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick built over Morgan's site, the sovereignty goddess herself. Who knows how ancient that was? A specific clearing made for her, then they're going to do that. And rename it, Latinize it. Same thing that was done to Bridget, right? And her druidesses, her priestesses, were replaced by nuns. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? Subjugation, first of all, of the goddess. Subjugation of the priestess, lowering her in status, putting the church over the top of her. What happened? You're answering to the Father, a man. Right? Nothing against man, whatever. Dishonorable men, yeah, I don't like that shit at all. And so to come in and be like, oh, we're going to put the flame out. What? Here? However long that had burned for. That is the point. And the flame, as I have been saying, and feeling ignored. Did you hear what I said? Ignored. What does that imply? Not listening or applying. You could listen and not apply, right? If you aren't applying it, then it's not wisdom, is it? It's just information in your head. You got to be dedicated to it, to being honorable. even when you aren't being watched. So let's say you have a little bit of spiritual power on earth, right? So you can astral project and do some shit, whatever. So you think you're all powerful because you've never seen anything beyond yourself, right? So you assume that you are it. And then one day you find out that you aren't. And you've been siphoning off others in order to have that power. But it's not yours, so you never earned it. So what does that mean? Just a real good vampire, right? Like a little parasite. You ever seen Stargate? You know, the Goa'uld, the little larvae creature? That's what I'm saying. And so these people that think they're so-called magic practitioners, that's what they do. The whole egregor concept, right? Or they link into your energy field from a distance. They're playing with energy, right? Okay. Or they are weak, so they have to use an entire group and then target one person. So I would say, if that one person, which is me, can resist that, then that means I'm stronger than them, right? Yup. Why? Because I choose to be honorable and not abuse my power and use it against people like that. Nope. Only my personal self-sovereignty and sanctity, right? And I honor that in others. So if I honor that in others, then I definitely don't deserve to have my free will overridden, right? But that's what's up. These people are so arrogant, they will project into your body. Now you could say I'm crazy. Let's just say it's possible for theoretical discussion. You're a nutbag. No, I'm not. We are energetic beings. That's what's up. You can affect somebody's emotions, right? Just as a vampire will seduce through using what only? Sexual energy, right? Give you pleasure and then drain everything out of you. Get access to your heart, right? Then it separates your nerve centers. What's your heart? That's your emotional brain. So what's their goal? Separate your heart from your crotch. Because if your heart's ruling your crotch, then your crotch is not being ruled, right? Not by sexual energy and lust. That does not build family, period. At all. You do that, you go up and touch grandfather's granddaughter without his permission. What the hell do you think he's going to do? Say thank you? No. Axe in forehead, more likely, especially in ancient times. I'm just saying, it's not a threat, it is an observation and a comment. Definitely a statement. So, to me, on a spiritual level, it is no different than walking up to somebody and doing that to them physically. You hear? So if you would not walk up and grab somebody's crotch without their permission, then you should not be abusing sexual magic retardation, right? Violating the base principle of life, that is fertility, the sovereignty goddess's center. Do you think she will say thank you for that? No. So if you are walking in a dishonorable way, why should you be honored? It is an assumption and a place of arrogance, and that is not where I live. Nope. I acknowledge the sovereignty of the goddess, number one, and of my grandfather. Because those two are like this. That's grandfather and grandmother in 100% honor and love, and nothing else. What have I been saying? That is my goal. Is it a high goal? Yes, it is. It is the highest goal. And when you disrespect central root, it would be like equating to taking all of your seeds that you could have grown something with and throwing it in a fire to be torched and destroyed, right? So that is why it's important not to just willy-nilly sleep around with whoever, not because you're a prude, because your energy on a soul level gets connected to that person. And so it's like, let's say you've been with someone, whatever, You have to go through a series of purifying your energy field, right? Or the next person you get involved with will be connected to that other person. So when it is on a folk soul level and you can't hide anything. That's the funniest thing to me, is, in my opinion, of course, is that there is observation and viewing of everything at all times, permanent record. But somehow people think that if they're hiding in a room somewhere, that nobody's going to know that they're practicing whatever they're doing, you know. So I like to act as though my grandmother and grandfather see me at all times. That means 24/7. Now, if I have that mentality, why would I ever allow myself to do something that was unjust? Now, let's say I do. I'm going to feel like shit, right? Because I care. Now, if I didn't care, it wouldn't matter. Because honor wouldn't matter. And honor does matter, right? 100% love and trust of tribe matters. And that is what was violated in the beginning. That is the betrayal. You betrayed your own personal honor code, or the honor code set forth down by your grandparents. End of discussion. Right? Is there anything further at this point that I haven't covered that doesn't make it 100% crystal clear what the proper path is? Right? And do that so that under extreme stress, you know where to go. You may be smarty pants without a bunch of pressure on you. But what about when you're injured and you're struggling to even be conscious? What would your last thought be? Mine would be, I commit myself into your hands, grandmother and grandfather, now and forever. And I mean that. I'm not just saying it for purpose, I mean it. And so I better mean it 100, right? Because I will be tested. You will be tested. You do not get to sit on a little fluffy pillow when facing them. They will call you out for everything. And you have two attitudes: arrogance or humility before wisdom. You choose. I choose to be humble before my grandparents. What about you? Thank you for the thumbs up. Because, in my opinion, I've been dealing with that reality. Everything I described. So, if you disrupt the heart energy by doing that, you disrupt the whole system, because the heart is king. And that is why the world is out of balance. But we have a choice. We can choose to be in our highest balance, highest standard. Because I told you, and I will say it again, even if it's just a representation, a giant planetary orb filled with beings with auras the size of a sun. Am I joking? No, 100% serious. What happens when you're facing that level of power? What will any minute little astral projection shit mean at that level? Zip. It would be a child's game, comparatively. She said, you can hold on all the way. You could be destroyed, and you destroyed yourself. Cause a living folk's soul shine for tribe and family. Love all the world. reaching deep down to say, grandmother, grandfather, all the way. Oh, shining we and feel you all the way. Root down. You can't steal love, you gotta be love, or you're not. Whoa, folks all burn on. Shine, shine on the same. Ancient Volva, grandmother, come our way and shine. Oh, shine 100% all the way. Oh, tribe and family. Oh, full is the inheritance. For 100% love, you hold back, there's no inheritance for you. It's most serious. The Alpha is the one who acknowledges wisdom and is humble before the wars. And the 100% true-hearted all the way. Oh, ain't no game, serious. Ain't no game, most serious. Like a burning flame, it's a burning weed. Yeah, burn it all away. It's not you, and I don't want it anyway. Anyway, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's all the way. Nothing you do will stop me anyway from remembering that I should protect innocence. Nothing you say will stop me from that, you know. Oh, to remember the sacredness of a child. Whoa, so don't play no immature games with me. 'Cause I'm a full-grown man. Said you know. Said you know. You were brave. Said a man was a rich man with money in the pocket. Well, that could be true, but a real man knows how to love all the way. It's when it's rough to root down and you survived the war. There'll be nothing left to say. When there's a famine on the land, yeah, and death round every corner. I'm calling grandmother, grandfather, shine, 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 shine. Oh, Be waiting down the wisdom well. Be waiting down at the wisdom well. 'Cause this is not for your entertainment. No. This is for deep down protection of innocence. For those that fell in fire. For I call the rain to put the fire out. Call the rain, oh, grandmother on the way. You better know 100%, and let no one ever stand in her place and say there she. No. Better hold on her all the way, said you know. Oh, Bolivar, Bolivar. Over all the say, planet of the Bolivars shining with light. Crystal orb floating in space. I think I saw her aura was the size of a planet. Whoa, Volvo, like a supernova, is gonna blast out your sin. There'll be a battle coming, but it's not the one you think. It's for all the apples, every single one, just coming for children. Shine, shine, shine. Loosen up and squeeze inside in here. Tension on the breeze. Tension on the breeze. Yeah. Oh. Well, yeah. Oh. Staff to circle around. Down to the chalice above, I-oh. So go round the fire, I-oh. Man is to woman, I-oh. Sound that is primordial, oh. Push it all the way to the max, baby, come on. It was for the children. Whoa, wise woman on the way. Rise in the woodland, be, oh, flame tree and well. Don't forget me if you cast your spell. But I know you better be 100% low all the way. I told grandmother you choose whether I live or die. You choose whether my soul is forever destroyed. Oh yeah, that's what they said. Volvo.com said. She said if she made it, she can't destroy it. Did you hear? Bass Root, who started it all? What's up? Well, be so arrogant that you disrespect your grandparents in their own house. And who are you? We practice sex magic. Oh, yeah, Oh, you're cool, aren't you? No, you ain't cool. You ain't shit to me. Grandmother, grandfather said fertility is the central right. Disrespect will not be tolerated. Oh, like a burning fire. Grandfather said, you ain't doing that at my house. Yeah. Oh, no way. Better get down. Step it doing that. Oh, for the goddess is sacred upon the land. Sovereignty call forevermore. Grandmother, grandfather, shine on forevermore. In my heart and soul, way down 100% all the way up. Yeah. Way down. I don't really care if they laugh at me, but I care about grandmother, grandfather, and the so-called to be tribe and family. If you think it's easy for me, no, I'm putting it all out on the breeze. You can see me, but I can't see you. You're on the other side of a one-way mirror looking at me like I'm some kind of freak show. 'Cause I'm not here for your entertainment. No, I'm here for the so-called and that's way before this was ever here. even before the internet was even a thing, right? Grandmother knows, but if they don't know, they want to know why and what do you know? Well, I know love 100% all the way. Yeah. They can listen, but they might not hear. You got 100% love and all around trust for grandmother and grandfather. Then you're with me all the way. And if not, you would never hear anyway. Whoa. Travis 100% all the way. 100% all the way. Ain't no fake shit over here. No. I didn't do it for the praise. I did it for the honor and the love of God and family. I didn't do it for the reward, 'cause they gave me the inheritance for love. 100% all the way. Right. And that is exactly how I feel. As I said, this is not entertainment. This is how I feel about life, period. Everybody else can do the fake shit. I'm not. This is what folk music is really about. Not a bunch of fluffed up bullshit. Real tribe, family, honor, the basics. It's a big deal. I have sat here for 2 years. For the first year, I was ignored and pigeonholed. Why? Distraction. What were they missing? Exactly everything I just said. That is the core. What else are you going to do? What should you be doing? Let me think. I shouldn't. Don't should on people. That's up to you. Based on your intention, your result will be what it is. So if you have pure intention, then that's what you receive. You got dirty intention, that's what you get. And you did it to yourself. So what can you do? Correct your behavior. Basic shit before your grandparents. What will happen to your folk soul light? It will be transformed and empowered. What will happen if you continue to dishonor the memory of your grandparents? You're done. No inheritance. How serious is that? Very. Let's say, for instance, Your soul light is depending on your honor to your tribe, and you were a dishonorable piece of shit your whole life, and you sold it out. What if when you die you just cease to exist? You ever think about that? That's a big price. Maybe you get a choice to choose. But if it's a nephew, grandpa, and grandma, don't you think they'd kick you out of the house? These are basic common sense things. And when I put it in that context, everything fell into place and made sense to me. I've lived this way for years. Doesn't mean I don't screw up and make mistakes, right? But I am saying, I've been through enough shit to say I am correcting every little negative thing that has ever entered my mind about myself, or any action I have that is disrupting my inner harmony, right? Like that friend of mine testing me the way he did, where he lied and used every tool in the book to mess with me. One of my closest friends died of a suicide, and he used that to get money. What kind of piece of shit does that? I don't care what tribe they belong to. I wouldn't do that to somebody in another tribe. Who cares? It's a piece of shit move. So therefore, if you give up your personal honor code, what do you think will happen? But these basic common sense principles seem to miss people. They have a concept of act however the hell you would like. Take a shit on grandma's floor and she's going to say thank you. No, she won't. She's going to hit you in the ass with a switch and say, get out my house. Got it? Okay. Thank you for listening. You ever notice when you say something really personal, sometimes you discount it right afterwards thinking, oh, well, other people do that anyway, so if I do it, then maybe they won't attack me because I've attacked myself first. No. You have to be 100% into the intention of what you were doing. The discovery. I'm going to take these glasses off because it kind of blocks me. Just a bit higher now. Let's see what I'm shown now in this one. The dog promised with a grunt of effort as he hauled his bulk up the rocky slope. Behind him, Gila and Lou scrambled along, their more agile forms still no match for the amazing litheness of the huge man, panting and hanging on a rock for a brief rest. And also, who is to say that at one point there weren't beings that powerful on the earth? You know what I mean? It's like, who defines reality? Well, primordial source really does, but humans think they do. Ooh, that's what I flipped to. Queen Danu's plan. Whoa. I would say that was a direct representation of GrandMother. Whoa. I'm not joking. That is what I flipped to. See that? Sovereignty goddess. Who have I been defending this whole time? Hear anybody else doing that? Huh. Crickets? Yeah. Too distracted by politics, other things, but you're not focused on your grandparents that are central to the root. But you see, that is what often happens. And it is generally through being taught incorrect principles to live by. That means lack of virtue versus potency due to holding virtue, right? If, you have two guys to choose from, let's say you're a woman. You got one guy that's sleeping around with every woman in town. By the time he gets to you, what the hell is that going to mean? Not shit. You got one guy, kind of keeps to himself like me, plays music, chills, right? But let's just say it's me, and he's missing front teeth. Oh, what a scroungy piece of shit. Who's this loser, right? But you take Mr. Slick Talk asshole, and he fucks the shit out of you. Did I say he made love to you? No. See, fucking is not honor. Making love is. And that means you are committed to that other person. Not you go get her pregnant and then leave. No. Unless there was a war or some shit went down. Otherwise, And I guarantee grandmother, grandfather would not be looking at that and saying, oh, thank you for knocking up my granddaughter and then not taking care of her and being a little coward. Because that's what it is. It is not wanting to be responsible for your own actions. And that is definitely childish. Now, projecting it on somebody else is even more childish, in which was done to me. And I don't appreciate that. But I also recognize the ignorance of the other person, and imbuing compassion from grandmother, I give them another chance. But there's only so many chances. But as long as that person still has a pure flame, right, where there is some love in them, then they have protection. The moment they sell that out, right, for something else, it's over. You can reclaim, but you will be tested. You must earn it, right? It must be a 100%. You think that is easy? No. You will need help, but you must be honorable. So you got to hold that here no matter what anything else around you says. These little astral game players. We are the gods. We are your guardians. No, you're not. You are playing with energy that you are abusing, right? So if you abuse the little tiny bit of power you have, compare that to the aura of a planet that I was talking about. What is your inheritance? Power, life force, not gold. Duh. I feel like this is basic common sense, but I know that most people don't view reality the way I do or on that level. Well, I view reality like that. I'm not an atheist at all. I have a grandmother and a grandfather, and they are immortal or live forever, and that's what I say. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the gods and the goddesses are direct descendants of that. But we are either growing or devolved, or maybe you're going through a process of having to deal with being mortal to learn what it is like to not just have everything handed to you. You know what? That would make life better because you would appreciate shit more. Especially if then you became that immortal being, or that you became conscious that you were that, right? Now imagine you are the power level that I was describing. Could you possibly move without a ship? Yep, because you are the ship. Pure consciousness that cannot be destroyed. Infinite love. What have I been saying? IO is what? Infinite love. I have been saying it. Unity of masculine and feminine energies. That's what that represents to me. Multiplying infinitely. So you go, ask yourself the question. Now, remember what I said about ignoring your match. Why? You were distracted by everything else I just said. Now imagine you're doing that in front of your grandparents, and they know who the right person is, and you're making the wrong choice. Guess what? No inheritance. You aren't listening. Because inheritance is for the wise. Got it? You aren't humble before wisdom, you don't receive it. That's central. I'm putting the book down. Now, here we go. My representation. sovereignty goddess. She even has red hair. Now, does that look like a playboy? No, because I don't view women like that. Bad habits. It is a porn star mentality versus grandmother, grandfather, and full honor. That is way different. That's called responsibility and oath. You have made an oath to your grandparents. You make an oath to the sovereignty goddess. That is not a joke. You dishonor that, she takes your head. End of statement. That's how I feel. On a spiritual level, too. Here's Scotty, right? This is called reclaiming honor. I made that when I was in a mental facility. I've never shown that to anyone. I was not happy when I made it. I did not want to be in there. I knew I didn't need to be in there because guess what? Robert was in control the entire time he was in there of himself. Never got in trouble once. I wonder why that is. Because I'm not crazy. You know what I told the psychiatrist when I was in there? I was doing a pagan ritual, and I was. That's how I got treated. Nearly had my ability to play music taken away. Had my freedom taken away. And was crushed against concrete by an officer that was way larger than me. Meaning he compressed my heart. Is that not significant? I think it is. What's the heart symbolize? Your individual sovereignty. But I don't hate that guy. From his perspective, he thought he was doing the right thing. But it's like no sensitivity training with somebody in that state, right? So let's say I had acted out. Well, I didn't. I did not become violent, right? But he was violent. So at this point, what would I give a goddamn about profit? I'm fortunate to have my freedom and to be here right now talking on this mic and not locked up in a mental facility somewhere because someone else decided that a pagan ritual was being a nutbag. But say if I were a Christian, I would have been treated a lot different, right? But even then, if you're like, God told me that the cat was from planet, Zuba or whatever, But I just, there is no assumed purity because someone is either a pagan or a Christian or this label or that label. You are an individual with individual intentions. That's how it is looked at under the law. Ignorance is no excuse for bad behavior. So even if you are ignorant, those who are not will check you. Okay, for instance, you go into a bar and you don't realize you can't act however you want. Well, the bouncer says, no, sir, you cannot act that way. And you say F you to the bouncer. What's going to happen? You're out there on your ass. Now, second level, you have now struck the bouncer. Now the bouncer is going to call in reinforcements and whoop your ass. Reality, I've seen that happen at clubs. It's never happened to me. Why is that? Bob's not a violent idiot. I'm not drunk. I like dancing. That's it. Deep. So, going forward, I'll say, okay, philosophically, you go make your decision. I'll make mine. As long as you don't interfere with me, I'm good. But the moment that they interfere with especially your personal sovereignty in modern times now, flash forward. But it all goes back to ancient root. And ancient root does not cease to exist because it is the year 2020. Does it? That is permanent and forever, in my opinion. So our actions are being observed while we are here. Let's say they're making selections on who will be in leadership in the other realms. Do you think I would care about how much money I make? No, I care about my position in the next realm. So Mrs. I Choose Slick Talk has what for inheritance in the next realm? She doesn't have shit. Nothing. But the one that was honorable and made the right choice, what does she get? Full inheritance. 100%. What would you like? It'd be like taking one piece of candy, right? Forever, that's all you get. Or a full meal every single day, multiple times a day, forever. Which one's better? Grandmother and grandfather, or the latter choice? Piece of candy is this world's choice. Here, sell yourself out for this shit. No. Nope. You're doing that in front of your grandparents. Like if I saw a woman act that way, I wouldn't even consider her, right? But she's like, oh, you're the arrogant person. You're a toothless bum anyway, so who cares? Yeah, am I? By my standards, that would make me a very spiritually wealthy individual if I was humble before wisdom, theoretically. We'll just say. But I'm going to say it's a fact for me. But if I act dishonorably, what am I squandering? My inheritance. All right? Now, keep in mind that a man's testicles is his treasure house. What's in there? Oh, future babies. What happens if I dishonor that? I am dishonoring central root yet again back to the fertility goddess. She's not going to say thank you. You are wasting the seeds. Just as well as a woman wastes her eggs. Same concept. Not to mention also that there is nutrient in that you expel. Now, if you are sharing that with your wife, then that is not waste. You see? You are sharing that with her. Big difference between go jack off in a corner mentality, right? Go masturbate to a magazine. That ain't shit. You're like some goddamn video. This is what modern culture is turning into. So, where is the ancient and old honor code to treat women with honor and respect? I was taught that at a young age, and it was serious. My dad did not take no shit on that. None. You did what he said, period. And that is the authority that your grandparents have. And when they have had enough shit, that is it. Inheritance gone. And then when that's gone, you cease to exist in the tribe. That is serious. And I would never risk that. I think we're allowed a certain amount of flaws and mistakes, but there are certain things that if you do, you are done. You hear? No. So in a tribal situation, and I've equated this before, but to restate it because it's a good point. Let's just say a certain member, one-time member of the tribe has now done something extremely dishonorable. Then let's say as a result, a child died. And they knew what they were doing. The warriors in the tribe, the shield maidens, whatever, men, women, whoever, that's their ass. You are out of the tribe. Banishment, 100%. Is that a joke? Nope. I'm no different. Once I decide someone is a dishonorable piece of shit, they're out. You hear? So that's a very serious judgment to make, right? So I'd probably give somebody multiple chances to correct behavior. I think that's what our grandparents do. They're not cruel assholes. They just want to fucking torture us. We are being tested. And this is a greater test, because if you were immortal, there's no repercussions really for choices, right? I mean, to a point, there is, but now there is a finite amount of time. What you do matters. Everything we do matters. We are doing it before our tribe. Why am I doing this? To honor the ancient grandmother and grandfather of my tribes, period. Because that includes honoring my father's passing, friends that have passed away, both men and women. One woman I knew last year who knew another friend of mine who died from fibro, well, an alcohol abuse, but he fell out of his wheelchair and they found him dead in his house. I'm not playing games. It's visceral for me. And I will not act dishonorable. So I am publicly stating that for a reason. It isn't to get attention, because I am selling nothing. That is why there are no commercials on any of my videos. None. Because this is about sacredness and about being honorable. And it makes me shake when I speak. Because my heart hurts. Because I know what the consequences are for those choices. And I don't think I would want to be called a traitor in front of my own grandparents, or to be that at all. And that is what not upholding true virtue is in front of them. It would be the equivalent of, say, and this is going to be very blunt, walking into their house, let's say you're a guy, jacking off in the living room and then asking if they liked it. They're going to have to say no. Grandpa's going to kick your ass, and you are out. That's what wasting the seed is, and all the dishonorable bullshit. It sure as hell ain't family. And that's the central core root. All these buildings can fall to the ground, but that will remain. So which one is the true? Right. The man-made that will break down, or the original root? Kind of obvious, isn't it? You see that? That's an acorn, right? Acorn. Oak. Why was the oak sacred? Why does BobCat keep saying, I, oh? What's that? Oh. I, oh. That didn't mean something perverted. That was highly sacred and most ancient. And that's what I've been sharing. And that was what was ignored. And that is why there is disharmony. So, if I acknowledge that within myself, that I have lived in a way that is not honorable until I am willing to face it, it stays there like a stain. I actually equated it to less value as far as being dishonorable than a shit stain on your underwear. Seriously, that would be cleaner than that. So that is filthiness in front of my grandparents. I'm not doing it. No. You would have to have exception from definitely mom and dad, for sure. Most of the time, if you're going to marry their daughter or two tribes meet, you better have a high level of honor or her brothers are going to come on your ass. That's how it is. That's how it was. And they are oathed to do that. So that means she is responsible to be wise, or what happens? She throws a tantrum and puts her brother's life in danger. Could go both ways. Or the brother introduces her to the wrong man because he has poor discernment. She trusts her brother's judgment, and then something bad happens, right? What's the key note? Always listen to grandmother and grandfather. They are the root of your intuition and discernment anyway, right? That's wisdom. That is wisdom's root. This is not easy for me. I am putting myself out here personally. This is my private life. You hear? Not some money game. Not some corporate horse shit. It's old. You need to be a living flame. It is not easy, but it is worth it, and it is necessary to purify yourself. Until then, you will be easily misled. But, this whole concept of sexuality is evil is wrong. No, not honoring the fertility right is a problem. Be like two people just got hand fasted, and then somebody decided to start practicing sex magic against that person's wife or husband. I would say that would be a problem. Now, imagine that's your match, right? They were destined to be together, okay? And then someone decided that they would play with sex magic to disrupt the relationship. I'll bet you that's pretty common, especially with these people that think they have power and they don't. Compared to a human, they might. Not compared to grandmother and grandfather, they ain't shit. They're nada. They just think they're power. That's the arrogance, right? Eventually, arrogance is always put in check. Always. You do not get to continuously, as you heard, throw the truth to the ground and get away with it, right? So you could blind people from the truth, but you cannot destroy the truth because you would cease to exist without it. Interesting. So it's like, how can I write a book and make $1 million? Yeah. I would ask another question. How could you honor your grandmother and grandfather? So here's another concept. You are on the opposite end, and you've made a huge mistake. And it feels terrible. Oh, I can't figure out why I'm depressed. That's why. Because your energy is out of harmony with your tribe. Now, if you're out of harmony with your heart, in which dwells there in your crystal cave and folk soul memory light, where's your wisdom? It's like you turned the lights off. And waking up to virtue is turning the lights on and claiming your personal sovereignty and free will before the sovereignty goddess on the land, which connects you, right, to the spirit of the land. And to your ancestors, direct to your grandmother, grandfather. So anyone distracting you from that, fake names, other bullshit, whatever, I don't care, then you don't have it. You have accepted the illusion or a magician as an alpha over you before your grandparents. How more dishonorable could you be? Wow. It's people are that lost. It is that simple. You don't acknowledge anyone to stand in the place of your grandparents. If you are acknowledging others' wisdom before theirs, you are not honoring them. And that's how I feel. You have accepted the authority of a human being over you versus your own grandparents. Clear? I think that's very clear. With that said, I have made my point. And I don't need to say anything else because I boiled it down. It's that simple. We're trying to come up with a book of a how-to. Start pointing to base virtue. Everything else will follow. Because I expect people to take what I say, put it into a book and sell it. Because they don't understand core root. It won't matter if they do that because they won't have it. And they don't. But they will use the truth to steer the group. They will pretend, but they are not. They're genuine article. And they will hate the one who is, because it disproves them. And their magic spell doesn't work anymore. As I said, I am not a magi. I do not practice magic. I have a folk soul that is connected directly to my grandmother and grandfather. I don't need some fake poof and poof. All I need is folk soul light. It is that simple and profound. Be a trouble on the land, they said. I'm not here for entertainment. This is a ritual space, and I claim it so. Circle around, oh. The only power I call on is grandmother, grandfather. Humble before they're away. Deep down, purify my soul. Grandmother on the way. Sovereignty goddess rise. Sovereignty goddess rise. Rise on. As I sing from my heart and soul. 100% all the way. Way down, they want to take me away. Freedom, freedom. Grandmother, grandfather, will you grant me sovereignty? Oh, humble before you, way. Infiltrate, they said, the fake. Hear the love of fear. Sacred chalice, such I say. I'm the son of someone who was abused, and then I was abused. By now I have a blazing fire set. I told him if I go down, send me back round. Oh. And I come on back up out of the ground like the crow. That's for sure. Whoa, love our own tribe and family. Forevermore. I was waiting down by the riverside. Well, I had to put you on the fire. I'll see you in the other world, my friend. Ashes to the ground, oh. This is not for your entertainment. Sacred to the ground, oh. Shaking deep down in my heart root down. I'm turning into a diamond, harder than diamond, indestructible heart and soul. Like a blazing fire, burn on, circle around, oh. I don't need their fake tricks anyway, or a mountain of gold, 'cause I live on folk soul mountain. Grandmother, grandfather on the way. This ain't easy, but it's necessary. Straight in the crosshairs, I know, but I already committed to the other world. Oh. Grandmother, grandfather in my heart and soul, forever, forevermore. Say Central to root don't know. Circle around, see. Thank you very much. If you are true, I especially thank you. But if you are not true, then I don't acknowledge you at all. But if you are true, and you are 100% love, then I love you back, 100%. But only if you are true. Grandmother, grandfather, love me forevermore, 100% all the way. So if you send her, grandmother, my love, well then she will be forever. But if not, I will walk alone till I reach the other room. There's no one here for me, even just the way it is. Better than being with the wrong one. Where real men stand wrong. Real men love strong. And a real woman with a folk soul's all I ever wanted forevermore. Way down, you know. Way down, you know. Down, you know. It's all true. Grandmother, grandfather, to circle around. Come to circle around, oh. Hold the flame, heart's flame, burn on. Forevermore. Way, I hope the planet of the bulbous comes soon. Shining we, grandmother, grandfather, ancient forefathers, shine, shine, shine now. Shining we. I can't sing no more. Overcome, shining we, waiting down by the riverside to see. Oh, audio, static in the line. Whoa. It's 100% clear, crystal clear. When grandmother, grandfather speak to me, shining we. Heart's flame, 100% love all the way. Circle round, I-O. Those are the ripples I send out on the pond. Let's see what happens. Everything I said is exactly how I feel. 100% truth. Circle round, hearts, flame. That is true love. Of family, right? And tribe. Grandmother and grandfather. And that is serious to me, very. So I honor the sovereignty goddess now. Tomorrow I will be waiting to see what comes. But it will come. And if I am heard, something will happen. Guaranteed. Nothing bad. Maybe someone will respond. But I have sent it. And one sense that is all. Grandmother, grandfather, I honor you all the way. Grandmother, grandfather, I love you forevermore. 100% all the way. Heart's flame. Love of tribe and family forevermore. Oh. Thank you. I shall return. All is well. Easy on the breeze. Heart's flame, love of tribe and family. Grandmother and grandfather. I-O.